Welcome class to a video with regards to your shopping cart project. This video is going to step through how to create the database tables as well as how to create the PHP code that is necessary for the show colors page, which you'll use as a template for show occasions and show types. So looking at the overview schedule first, so we are now done with week 2, working on week 3. So you should be developing all of your pages for your site. Have them out there. They don't have to be perfect at this point, but I want to see these by Monday so that I can go ahead and look at what needs to be worked on as far as CSS is concerned. And then the next week, we're going to be working on the tables. Now, the tables, they don't take much to create, so they're certainly not going to take you an entire week. So you can kind of blend these last final weeks together, working on the final shopping cart functionality. So that's where we are in our schedule, and so I'm again going to use this video, and it's the first video of 2 that I'll be creating with regards to the PHP code. So what I'm going to be talking about is how do we get past the home page. So the home page, I want to see creativity. I want to see good CSS design. Okay, so use everything that was taught to you, not just in CSS class, but in other classes. Okay, so I'm going to come to the flowers page to demonstrate. This is what we're going to click on is flower color, flower occasion, or flower type. Now you can definitely spice up this page, make it more than what I have. Okay, so let's look at flower color. So flower color, what it does is it gives me a list of colors, and these are the colors that you are going to populate your database with. Okay, so I am going to not show you the flowers table. Okay, I will show you how to develop the cart table, but I will tell you about the flowers table. It has 6 fields. You don't need any more than 6 fields for your flowers table. Okay, so I've developed a flowerShop database for each one of you. So let me go ahead and re-click on that because it just created them, so they haven't populated yet. Yep, so they're all there listed, all of the flowershops. So I'll go ahead and click on mine again. 2 tables, your flowers table and your cart table. Okay, flowers table again, 6 fields. Okay, now let's look at the colors page again. So back here, when I click on red, yellow, purple, or blue, it's going to create a query string. So the color is going to be passed to show color. So look at the bottom left corner of the screen. You will see it says showColors.php. And then there's a question mark. That starts a query string, and we're sending along the field color with the value of red. If I hover over yellow, I'm going to get yellow, blue, going to get blue. Okay, so the same thing you're going to do with the show occasions and show types pages as well. So I'm going to click on yellow to show you that there are 3 flowers that come back in my database that have the color yellow associated with them. So we're going to step through how did I develop this show color page. Okay, so first of all, here's colors, and here is the query string. Okay, so showColor.php, query string, color equal red. I added a little CSS to remove the underlining on the hyperlink. Okay, so this is colors.php. This is all that's in. So this is just the content area. Okay, so div content, this is what it contains. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and look at show colors. So show color. So show color has a few things that I'm going to talk about. Okay, so first thing that I'm going to talk about is the very top portion. There's a PHP section that is necessary to be at the top of the page, and it's going to be the same thing for show occasions and show types. So session start. So if you don't know what session start is, you could go ahead and Google it. I will tell you that it creates a session or resumes the current one based on a session identifier passed either through get or post or through a cookie. Okay, so we're going to use the cookie side of it, and I'll explain that or show you that a little bit later. So the very first line of code again is session_start. So what is a session? So when I have Firefox open here, this is a session. As soon as I close this and I close all of the tabs, my session is closed. So we're going to save the information based on this session. Now the next line you'll see is say include includes, that's my folder, inc connect db. So this file looks like this. This is going to connect us to this database. Okay, so to my database, flowerShop. So I will be sending this file to you as for you to use. You need to replace Amy with your name, and your password is going to be the same one that you use to connect to A2 hosting or A2 hosted. Okay, so the same one that you used when you created the site definition in Dreamweaver. And then your name of your flowerShop is going to be your name in between this. So it's going to be underscore and then like this, okay? So that's what you will need to update in this particular file, again, that I will be sending to each one of you. Okay, I should have left that one open. I'm going to show it a little bit here. Okay, so back to show color. So the next line, okay, that we covered this line. Then the next line to look at is line 6. So color equal get color. Okay, so going back, I just closed that file. So let me go ahead and open up colors again. So going back to my query string here, here is color. Okay, so whatever value follows in the equal sign is actually what is caught in the get auto global. So query strings use the get auto global. That's going to be simply stored in a PHP variable called color. And we're going to use that in our query string later on. Okay, I'm going to come back to this section and how we insert our records into our cart table. Okay, so again, this entire section is going to be above the doc type. Okay, and your doc type will be HTML5. Okay, coming into the content section of my page, I now have a query, and that query says select flower name, flower color, flower price, and image from my flowers table. So now you've got 4 fields that I have mentioned now at the flowers table, where the flower color is equal to that color that we got from the get auto global up in the top part of the page. Okay, so coming in here, I'm getting my name, my color, my price, my image from flowers, where my flower color is currently yellow because that's the one that I selected on my page. Now line 48 is different than what students are currently learning for syntax in chapter 8 of PHP. This is object-oriented way to connect to a database. So it's simply the database variable, so db connect, jumping back to the inc connect, that is this variable right here. So db connect, then we have a dash and a greater than sign, and then the word query. What holds in the parenthesis is the query variable. So the query variable is on line 46, that is what is storing the results of my query. Okay, or is storing my query. So this whole string right here, it's almost like I copied it and pasted it in right here. Okay, what comes back from that is what we call a result set. Okay, so a result set is the records that match this query. So result is going to hold that, and currently based on my yellow selection, that is 3 records. So of course I'm going to need some sort of a looping structure to go through those 3 records. So the following flowers are, and if I look back here, are yellow in color. Okay, and then what I'm using next is fetch array. What fetch array does, and I'm going to throw this in a comment, is fetches a result row as an associative array. So associative array, if you don't know what that term means, it simply means that we have a key and a value. So our keys are the field names that we used in our query. So notice that these ones right here, flower name, are mentioned down here. Flower name, flower color, price, and image. So they correspond to my query string and the fields that I used. Okay, notice that result, okay, from that query is used here because those 3 records are the ones that I'm making into an associative array. The results of that are going to be stored in row. And then row is going to be used here to look at the field names with their keys. We assign those over to simply to a PHP variable, name, color, price, and image. And we do that because we don't want to have to type this over and over again when we want to refer to the flower name or flower price, for example. So name, color, price, and image. I'm going to use those variables now to develop inside of a form. Okay, each one of these records, okay, needs to come back and be inserted into a form in order for me to click add to cart, okay, which is a submit button, which then will populate my cart table. So I've got my image, I've got my flower name, my price, and then I have a quantity field which I can fill out, which we'll do some math with to create the total for that particular flower. So let's go ahead and let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and do 5, and I'm going to click on add to cart. Okay, and right now I also have a tulip in there. So the next video is going to actually focus on this page and show you how we can remove items and so on. But what I want to show you is, since you won't have this page for this particular video, how can you see that they're populating your cart table? Well, if you look at your cart table, you will be able to see what is there. And these are some old records. So let me go ahead and clear these out. You can go up to operations and you can empty the table. And when you delete the table, you're totally removing it from the database. When you say empty the table, that means you're removing the records. So I'm going to go ahead and remove just because I want a fresh table. So now I have no records. So let's jump back over here and go to flowers again. And I'm going to go to flower color, yellow, put my 5 back in here, and click add to cart. Okay, so now I have that displaying in my page. I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to click on cart. And now I have that new record. Daisy, yellow, 3 for the price, quantity 5, and my total 15. So these are the fields that you're going to need for your cart table. The first one is that session ID. Okay, nothing we can control. That's just exactly how it comes in. But so now you know what a session ID looks like. Okay, so that's how you're going to know if the records are actually inserted. So here's the form code. So action, method, post. Okay, post is important because that's the post auto global that we're going to use. Then here is that image being echoed out using my image variable that I have right here. Okay, and then I have 3 hidden fields. And the reason that these fields are necessary is because they need to populate the cart table. But yet they don't need to be displayed on the page. Okay, I don't need a field, a text field, that shows me my flower name. I don't need to type it in. But I do need to pass it along to the cart table. Same thing with color and the same thing with price. And then I have my quantity text field, which I'll be able to type in, and then I have my submitted. Now notice the name of my submitted button is submitted, all lowercase. So each time I come through a record, there's going to be a form developed. So let's go ahead and view, actually go back, continue shopping. And let's go to purple. Okay, and there is one. Actually, I want to do a better example than that. Let's go back and see if there's any white. Nope, I have no white flowers. Any blue? Nope. Yellow is the only one that's got 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and look here. We have form, okay, and it looks like we're developing, yeah, let's see, there is the closing form tag. I need to put a /n in there so that this pushes it down, and same thing here. But there's one form, and then we have another form and another form. Okay, so for those 3 records. Okay, so that's how you're going to develop the display of your records on your screen. And then we want to post them, right? We want to get them into the cart table. So I told you I would talk about this again. So we got post, submitted, there's the name of my button. Okay, we're getting the name, the color, the price, and the quantity all from that form. These were the 3 hidden, and the quantity is what I typed in. Do some math on the item total calculation, round it to 2 decimal places. And then we start a new query string, and that query string is going to be stored in the variable insert cart. So insert into the cart table, here's the fields in that table. Okay, all, 6 of them. And the values are, so for the session ID, you need to have this exact syntax. Single quote, double quote, all the way through. And then flower name. These need to be in exact order too. So if my table says session ID and then it says color first, they need to be in the order. Okay, so all the way down through these variables that I have listed over here. Then we do the same thing where we connect to the database, okay, using query, and then here's the variable that is holding the query string. From there, we jump to the show cart page using header and location to get there. Okay, so this is to insert records into the cart table. Okay, again, this section at the top, okay, we go through, here is your page layout, okay, and in your content area is where you're going to have your second PHP section. Okay, I hope that this helps you develop your show occasions, your show type, and of course your show colors page. Again, I will send this file to you so that you can use that. You need to update your name and your password, and again, your password is the same as your Dreamweaver or your connection to A2 hosted, and then you need to insert your name here. So BSC host _ your first name _ flowerShop. Okay, so let's just jump back to the overview schedule. So with that, I think you're ready to go ahead and develop those tables. Okay, and then you're going to be working on this functionality. So you've got a good start. Be looking for a second video to be posted early next week, maybe midweek, with regards to the cart page, which is this page right here, and we'll work on the functionality of this page as well. If you have any questions for me, please contact me. But remember, your goal is to make your site pretty. We're gonna all get through the functionality together, but I want you to make your site pretty with all that CSS knowledge that you have. Okay, thank you.